Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin with a question. When you think of history, what comes to your mind? Well, perhaps you think of the popular Promlikit TV show series. Perhaps you think bigger, of colossal empires, famous leaders, or even significant events. Those things are all true about history. But today, I want to delve into how history has shaped my life, and possibly yours. The philosopher George Santayana once remarked that the people who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. At a young age, I had my share of challenges. But 2 years ago, during grade 6, I started a project contemplating the French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte's life. And by doing this, I realized that he too faced defeat, had made many mistakes, and had to muster immense tenacity and strength. Napoleon rose to power during something called the French Revolution, where the entirety of Europe was against France's new democratic ideas. But despite this and despite his many defeats, Napoleon still fought for his nation and secured his title as one of history's greatest military commanders. So, this brings me to my point. How did history shape my life? First and foremost, history gave me a vision of what I wanted to pursue in the future, which is a career in political science and to study history and politics. This all started during the COVID-19 pandemic, where we all faced a new routine, an online routine. During this time, I was introduced to many historical texts and books which piqued my interest in the subject. And moreover, during this shift to online learning, I also participated in something called Model United Nations, which is basically a role play of the actual United Nations, except it's where youths get to represent different countries to try to solve major world problems by making resolutions. And by studying these two topics, I realized that they intertwine. Because politics today is heavily influenced and is based on events that took place in the past. Take a look at the freedom and the rights we have in the United States today. These rights and this freedom might not have ever existed if the British were not expulsed from the American mainland during the American Revolutionary Wars. And similarly, if the Declaration of Independence had not been created and signed. So basically, history gave me a goal. And I believe that goals are essential, and that people without goals do not have motivation in their lives or something they're willing to fight for. Goals act as my compass, guiding my decisions and actions into the right direction, and rather than being dispersed aimlessly, which is essential to progressing towards your goals. And which brings me to the first benefit that I would like to share. You must find your goals, find what you want, and then fight for it with determination and confidence. Second, history did not only aid me in finding my future pursuits, it also took me through a journey through life's many challenges. Because by participating in historical competitions, such as the Asian Championships hosted by the International Academic Competitions, which was held this summer, or even internationally, such as the Historical Olympiad, which was held in Rome this summer, which sees hundreds of historians come together to compete around the globe. Through these competitions, I experienced both victory and defeat. And it was not always easy. And history taught me that you must learn how to experience or how to cope with defeat, because it is essential. Because if you do not learn how to lose or how to experience a defeat, you will be stuck in the relentless effort cycle, or the cycle of relentless efforts. During this cycle, you will start by working hard, but not hard enough towards your goals, and thus you will not reach your projected goals. And then you will pursue a mindset that never forgives or forgets this defeat, because, of course, you will be highly frustrated with yourself because of this defeat. And then the cycle begins again and again and again. And as you can see, you will never be able to reach towards your goals if you do not learn how to cope or how to experience defeat. This made me understand that defeat may not be easy, and I understand that it is hard to lose. But defeat is essential towards progressing towards your goals and developing your abilities. Defeat. It is a heavy word. But why do we fear it? History shows us that defeat can be a trigger. Take a look at the Romans, for instance. When Gaul, which was ancient France, they were barbarians, sacked them during the early years of the first kings, Romulus and Remus, the Romans did not just give up, abandon their whole civilization and their people. They did not relent, and each time the town was burnt, their people were killed. They rebuilt their town time and time again, repeatedly, until they rose up to become one of human history's most influential empires. And this brings me to the second benefit. You must learn how to cope with your defeats and learn from your past mistakes in order to progress forward and develop your own abilities. Third, history required me to thrive on any challenge, not see failure as a way to describe myself or ourselves, but as a springboard for growth and developing your own abilities. Each time I failed, rather than curse myself or being frustrated with myself about this failure, I tried to study to improve myself in the next event. This is the basis of a development of a growth mindset. A growth mindset embodies a foundational belief that has resonated throughout history and has been seen throughout history. Picture the inventor of the light bulb. Inventor of the light bulb, Mr. Thomas Edison. Through Thomas Edison's relentless pursuit of his 10,000 failures, he eventually illuminated the world with his invention of the light bulb. And as he famously quoted, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that would not work." And after reading this quote, I encourage you all to ask yourselves, how many times do you give up on a task after 1, 2, 3, or even 10 tries at it? And picture the horizons we all could reach if we had Edison's mindset. History consistently teaches us that mindset, rather than any other external factor, charts the course of success. Consider the colossal empires of the past. And let us revisit the Romans. During the Roman confrontation with Carthage, during something called the Punic Wars, they faced an overwhelming naval disadvantage because Carthage, being a trading empire based in North Africa, boasted the Mediterranean's most powerful navy, while the Romans did not even have a fleet. But the Romans also did not relent or give up this time. The Roman Senate came together and they discussed that if they did not come up with something fast, they will be absolutely wrecked. And thus, they tried copying ship designs from Carthage, developing new technology, and went out to face Carthage with their newly built fleet that took around 2 to 3 months, a feat that should have taken years. And do you know how many fleets the Romans lost during these confrontations with Carthage? It was an astonishing 6. 6 fleets, a fleet comprised of around 200 ships, leading up to around 600 to 800 losses for the Romans. But each time a fleet was completely destroyed and wiped out, the Romans just built another fleet, and their tenacity shone through. And in the end, during one of ancient naval warfare's most famous battles, the Battle of Cape Ignomus, the Romans, with their newly built fleet, newly developed technologies, and the 7th try at it, the Romans finally triumphed over Carthage because of their growth mindset and their relentless spirit. This connects back to my own experiences with history, and it connects back to the next benefit. You must use the correct mindset and use a growth mindset in order to progress towards your goals. As I told you, history drove me into the world of academic competitions, and it was not always easy. But I personally and firmly believe that it does not matter if you win or if you lose. What matters is if you get up, try to mend your mistakes, and try to improve yourselves from this failure, along with listening to the advice of others, which is the basis of having a growth mindset. I never stopped practicing for these events. I never cursed myself about these failures and tried working hard towards my goals. And in the end, I ended up 4th place in the written exam for the Global Historical Olympiad. And I'm currently serving as the co-founder and co-teacher of the History and Geography Club at my school, along with qualifying for the Geography Championships, which would be held next year in Austria, Vienna. So as you can see, if you learn to have the correct mindset, a growth mindset, you will be able to reach towards your goals and achieve success. Fourthly, history showed me that humans have demonstrated a remarkable capacity to embrace change, as you can see in this picture. Now let's look at change through a historical lens. 13,000 years ago, humans were still hunter-gatherers, meaning that we never stuck to one place. We moved wherever our food went, and we constantly migrated. But due to changes and external factors, such as climate change, rising temperatures, and a shortage of food overall, we were forced to settle down, and we embraced and adapted to this change. And look where that has gotten us now. From farming, we evolved, we developed, and we improved. The agricultural revolution led to the industrial revolution around 150 years ago, where we shifted from using manpower and animals to using machines. And the industrial revolution got us to the fourth industrial revolution around a few decades back, where we shifted from using these outdated machines into using newer technologies, such as the technological devices we have now, or even search engines, such as Google. This brings me to the last and fourth benefit: embracing change. And why? Embracing change is important because, and it has been shown currently, because we have just experienced a change. The COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic was a major shift for everyone, and a major shift for myself, because I had to shift from learning in physical school to learning online. So the last benefit states that you must embrace change and learn how to adapt to change in order to reach towards your goals. In summary, I believe that history has 4 key benefits that have benefited my life overall, and possibly yours. First, history aided me in finding my goals, finding what I wanted, and shown me that people without goals can never succeed because they do not have something they're willing to fight for. Second, history taught me to cope with defeat. And it taught me that if you do not learn how to lose or how to experience defeat, you will never be able to succeed. And third, history taught me that mindset, rather than any other external factor, even physical strength, is the key to success. And lastly, history has shown that humanity can and will embrace change in the future, and adapting to change should continue being part of our lives and lead us into a more enlightened future for humanity. In conclusion, from a 10-year-old who did not even consider participating in any academic competitions or historical competitions, after exploring history and realizing all this through my journey, I am now a 12-year-old who has thankfully achieved many things, participated in the Historical Olympiad, and is standing here in front of you talking about how all of these benefits has led to these achievements. I believe that I will face many more challenges in the future, and they will be much more challenging and inevitably difficult than the ones I have faced and then winning these historical awards. But I believe that I have my experiences and that I will find my own ways and paths to reach my goals. Because after all, if you learn to find what you want and fight for it, if you learn how to cope with your defeats, if you have the correct mindset, and if you learn how to adapt to change, nothing can stop you on the path to success. And remember, just by studying the past, we can cultivate a world where peace and prosperity endures for all. Thank you very much.
Wow. What an excellent speech. I am amazed นะคะ
Yeah.
At your age นะ I ทำไม่ได้อย่างนี้เลย ใช่ I อยู่บ้านเล่นลูกแก้วก็หลังจากที่ฟังทอล์กของน้องแมสซี่นะก็ทำให้เราได้ฉุกคิดอะไรหลายๆอย่างว่าประวัติศาสตร์เนี่ยได้ให้ผลกระทบกับชีวิตเรายังไงบ้างเนาะเหนือสิ่งอื่นใดก็โยนให้เมนเทอร์เลยแล้วกันเนาะเพราะว่า
นี่ว่าเมนเทอร์อยากจะแบบ
ใช่เขาฟีดแบ็กแล้วแหละ
แหมพวกเธอนะครับหลายๆคนนะครับถ้าเกิดว่าเคยดูคอนเทนต์ที่ช่องเทพลีลาก็จะพอรู้ว่า พื้นฐานภาษาอังกฤษของผมนั้น ดีมาก อันนี้ก็ต้องขอโทษน้องเขาด้วย I'm so sorry ด้วยว่าพยายามตั้งใจฟังตลอดนะแต่ด้วยความไม่แน่ใจในภาษาอันนี้ก็อาจจะคอมเมนต์อะไรมากไม่ได้ด้วยแหละเพราะฉะนั้นเพื่อความปลอดภัยของผมเองและกับน้องด้วยพี่นัทครับ
โอเคนะครับก็เอาสิ่งที่ชอบก่อนก็คือน้องด้วยอายุขนาดนี้เนาะแล้วก็ performance การพูดแล้วก็การวางโครงเรื่องอะไรอย่างเงี้ยคือไม่แน่ใจว่าน้องอาจจะเข้าเวิร์กช็อปมาก่อนเนอะเรื่องของการเซตคีย์แมสเสจอะไรอย่างเงี้ยแล้วก็สตอรี่ก็ชัดนะครับ call function ก็มีนะครับพี่เสริมอีกนิดเดียวแล้วกันเสริมแบบว่าระดับมืออาชีพนะหมายว่านิดเดียวก็คือเรื่องของ eye contact เนอะบางทีน้องอาจจะก้มหลบไม่แน่ใจว่าดูอะไรอยู่นะครับเวลาพูดโอเคแค่นี้นะครับ
โอเคฮะก็จริงๆน้องเข้าเวิร์กช็อปผมมาเป็นหนึ่งในสปีกเกอร์ที่ร่วมเวิร์กช็อป How to Create Your TED Talk เนอะเลยเบื้องต้นคือฟังเพลินมากเลยแทบไม่ได้จดเลย Actually I would like to say the first thing that I'm very proud of you about your script and at the first time you give me a lot of information and now you change your storyline and you try to adapt it with yourself. So it is a very good thing. In this content, I think the first thing that I would like you to adapt a little is about I and you message because this talk is about yourself and because you are only 10 years old, right? 10 or 12 years old. So I think it will be better if you avoid to use. You have to do that. You have to do this because some audience may think differently. Why I have to do it in your way? So, but you can change it by adapt from what you have to do it. But in this situation, if I will do this, I will do that. Change from you to I message. It will be better and just let the audience think by themselves. What should they do if they stay in the situation as you are, something like that. I think for the change from you and I message will be better, and it will avoid someone who don't want anyone just himself. I think it will be better. And okay, just this to อาจารย์พรเทพครับ
อยากใช้มุกพี่ปิงป่องมากเลยแต่ชิงใช้ไปก่อน Unbelievable talk. If I have to say something today, let's say that you are the next speaker of TEDxKasetsart. เก่งมาก You talking by use your passion. You learn, and the 12-year-olds who read the book wrote by Ray Dalio. It's unbelievable. Nothing to say. I'm very proud of you, boy.
ถามว่าชีวิตแบกได้อีก
นิดนึงก็ได้ฮะคือเหมือนเมสซี่จะมองที่จอน่าจะเป็นโน้ตหรือเปล่าอาจจะเป็นโน้ต
เวลา
เป็นเวลาเวลาเราอาจจะฝึกโดยที่ไม่ต้องโฟกัสที่จอมากคือเมสซี่อ่ะมองที่จอบ่อยตอนแรกเข้าใจว่าน่าจะเป็นโน้ตถ้าไม่ใช่โน้ตเนี่ยไม่จำเป็นต้องมองบ่อยขนาดนี้นะครับทุกอย่างโอเคแล้วล่ะเหลือ eye contact นิดเดียวนะ
ผมขอเสริมนิดนึงมีเวลาอยู่ใช่ไหมครับ2 นาทีโอเคเนื่องจากว่าทอล์กเนี้ยจริงเป็นทอล์กที่ดีอยู่แล้วนะแต่ถ้าเกิดจะให้ดีขึ้นอีกนิดนึงครับเนื่องจากว่า key message ของน้องเมสซี่มันเป็นแบบขอสไลด์หน้าสุดท้ายได้ไหมครับสิ่งเนี้ยจริงๆมันก็ดีแล้วแหละเพราะถ้ามุมของเมสซี่เนาะแต่ว่าอันเนี้ยมันเป็น key message ที่อาจจะยังไม่ดีมากคือ finding my goals hoping with diffuse เนี่ยคือคอนเทนต์เนี่ยมันอาจจะ general ไปนิดนึงถ้าเกิดว่าอยากจะให้มันว้าวเนี่ยเดี๋ยวต้องดีลกับตรงนี้เพิ่มการดีลมีหลายท่าเช่นแปลงมันให้เป็นศัพท์ง่ายๆเช่น 4E พวกทหารชอบใช้อ่ะเข้าใจเข้าถึงพัฒนาอะไรเงี้ยมันก็เป็นเวหนึ่งในการจัดการกับมันให้มันดูมหัศจรรย์ขึ้นได้ตรงเนี้ยเราว่าตรงเนี้ยมันเล่นต่อได้ในการถ้าเป็นเราจะไปคิดต่อว่าการจะส่งคีย์เมสเสจอันเนี้ยให้คนฟังและจำง่ายอ่ะจะใช้เทคนิคไหนนะครับหรืออาจจะใช้เป็นตัวละครที่เล่ามาประวัติศาสตร์อันนึงอะไรเงี้ยอันนี้ตรงนี้เราว่าตรงนี้มันพัฒนาได้อีกครับผมขอบคุณครับ
ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณเมนเทอร์แล้วก็ขอบคุณคุณเมสซี่มากๆค่ะ